Kia ora and welcome along to the Met Service Severe Weather Update for today, Wednesday. We are looking at wet and windy weather back with us across those northern parts of the country, and some more thunderstorms as well, and they could well bring with them some heavy bursts of rain and some stronger winds as well, gusting around those storms. You can see on these charts at the moment an area of low pressure out towards the far north and the west. That's this swirl of cloud. Those red crosses, those are the lightning strikes we've seen so far this morning. We've got more thunder and lightning running across the likes of, say, Northland, Auckland, the Coromandel and the Bay of Plenty as we head through the next day or so. So do keep an eye on the forecast, but it is looking like a pretty unsettled story thanks to that low pressure across those northern parts of the country. And also on this eastern side, this next front just brings more wet weather in towards Hawke's Bay and Gisborne Tairāwhiti. But it is looking like a pretty unsettled story. That low pressure continues to feed all this wet weather in towards Northland, Auckland, Great Barrier Island, the Coromandel, and even in towards parts of the Bay of Plenty as well. So we have got some severe weather watches and even a few warnings in place as we go through the rest of today for Wednesday and through to Thursday as well. Most of the activity on the North Island, but you can see we have got a watch down on the South Island as well. We'll start off with the watch up through Northland. That is already in force and runs right the way through into the early hours of Thursday morning. More thunderstorms coming through and more heavy rainfall, and that could well reach warning criteria. Worth keeping an eye on the radar charts as we go through the daytime, but we've already seen a fair number of thunderstorms running towards those far northern parts of the region this morning. And we'll see them carry on moving further south as we head through the rest of Wednesday. For Auckland, we're looking at that risk being a little bit later in the day today, from about 9 p.m. on Wednesday through till Thursday morning as well. Again, more thunderstorms and heavy rain, and a similar story out towards the Coromandel, but you'll notice this one runs from the early hours of Thursday morning, 1 a.m. on Thursday, right the way through to the middle part of the day on Friday, and again with more thunderstorms being pushed in on those northeasterly winds. So it is going to be a fairly unsettled story. The warning we have at the moment is across towards that eastern coast, that next front pushing in from the east as well. And that's likely to bring some heavy rainfall, especially about the higher ground of Tairāwhiti, those ranges up towards the northern part of the region, north of, say, about Tolaga Bay. And that's where we're going to find our heaviest rainfall, 100 to 140 millimetres of rain up about the ranges through there. Lesser amounts down towards the coast, but again, still with that risk of thunderstorms coming back towards us, and I think that's going to bring the chance of some really heavy bursts of rain as well. So it is looking like a pretty wet story. Again, keep an eye on the forecast and keep an eye on those radar charts as well. You'll also notice, although we've got this warning right the way through into Thursday afternoon, there is the chance of more rain coming back towards us on this eastern side of the North Island as we head through Friday and in towards the weekend. Some of that could still be quite heavy, and it is likely we could find a few more severe weather watches and warnings, so well worth keeping up to date with the forecast, not just for that warning up in the northern parts of Tairāwhiti, but also for that watch area down towards the Ruahine Range and the Kaiweka and Forest Park. We are going to find more wet weather through there as well, some heavy bursts of rain as we go through, again, the rest of the day on Thursday, but also through in towards the weekend as well. Well worth keeping up to date with the forecast. Now, while most of the activity is on the North Island, we have also got a watch for those eastern parts of Marlborough, eastern parts of Marlborough, south of, say, Ward. And we are looking at, again, heavy rainfall piling in there, and it's quite a long period we're going to find that wet weather. Again, with those winds coming in from that northeasterly direction, it just feeds on towards that eastern coast of both islands. So we are looking at some wet weather right the way through and to the end of the day on Saturday. So well worth keeping up to date with the forecast on that eastern side. Sadly, it looks like another wet start to the weekend. That's it from me. This is from metservice.com.